Hello and welcome back to class. Thank you for joining me today as we wrap up the upper body as far as naming bones goes. Today we're going to get bones of the wrist and the hand, and we will be able to name all of those. So your objectives include naming the bones of the wrist and then explaining what is unique about the thumb in terms of anatomical structure compared to your other fingers. So let's get started. Your wrist is made of 8 bones. In the first row, we have the proximal row, which means closest to your trunk. You have your scaphoid, your lunate, your triquetrum, and your pisiform. Your second row, the distal row, is made of your trapezium, your trapezoid, your capitate, and your hamate. And so the way that I was taught to remember this is you can remember the mnemonic or the saying, Sally left the party to take Charlie home. So if you can remember that, and we can go proximal to distal, lateral to medial, we can find all of these. So here is your picture. So again, lateral to medial. So Sally left scaphoid. Sally left the party. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you restart. To take Charlie home. Your capitate is right beneath your middle finger. And then your hamate has this little piece sticking off of it. Looks kind of like a hammer. So hamate and capitate aren't terribly difficult to remember. Your trapezium and your trapezoid may be kind of tough, but if you go in this order, trapezium comes first alphabetically. So trapezium, then trapezoid, but your triquetrum throws everything else off. And pisiform, I think looks like pisiform, and I would just think that I would be really upset or really this if I was stuck to another bone as well. So just some ways you can remember those bones of the wrist. Your hand, so collectively, pause. These are known as carpals. These are your carpal bones. So we'll look at carpal tunnel here in a little bit, but these are your carpal bones. Going beyond that, we get to your hand. Your metacarpals are found in the palm of your hand. So you have metacarpal 1, metacarpal 2, metacarpal 3, metacarpal 4, metacarpal 5. 1 being the thumb, 5 being the pinky. And then phalanges, same way. Your first phalange is your thumb. Your thumb only has a proximal bone and a distal bone, whereas the rest of them have a proximal, a middle, and a distal phalanx. So phalange is the whole finger. A phalanx is the digit. So all of your fingers have 3 phalanxes, 3 digits. Your thumb has 2. But those are your carpals and metacarpals and phalanges. Here's a look. So again, these are your carpals down here, metacarpals in the middle, large carpals, and then you have your proximal, middle, and distal phalanx. Proximal, middle, distal, proximal, middle, distal, proximal, middle, distal, proximal, and distal are your naming of the bones of your hand. Here's another look at it. Again, carpals down at the bottom, metacarpals, and then your phalanges. There are some disorders we can talk about in referencing your hand. So polydactyl, poly means many. Dactyl refers to phalanxes or phalanges. So if you have more than 10 fingers, you are considered polydactyl. There's a pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies named Antonio Alfonseca. He was nicknamed the Octopus because his hands look like this, which is kind of creepy, not gonna lie to you. But he was a major league pitcher. There's an x-ray of his hand, which is kind of interesting. So you notice this is his thumb, being as his pinky has those 3 digits. So everything else has 3 digits all the way through, but he's got that extra finger. Here's another individual with the disorder. So he's got 2 thumbs down here. Everything else looks to be about the same. And then there's a whole bunch of toes. That would be scary. Not gonna lie to you. All right. This is We've looked at your appendicular skeleton, we've looked at your exoskeleton, but these are all bones of your appendicular skeleton. So you have 2 clavicles, you have 2 scapulae, you have 2 humeruses, you have 2 radiuses, you have 2 ulnas, you have 16 total carpals, 8 on each hand. You have 10 metacarpals, 5 on each hand, and you have 28 phalanges, 14 apiece. 14 left hand, 14 right hand. Here are some review questions. Please be able to make sure you can name the bones of the wrist. Remember, Sally left the party to take Charlie home. What are the bones in the wrist called collectively? So as a whole, what are they called? How is your thumb different from the rest of your fingers? And what are the bones in the palm of your hand called? Those are your review questions. When you get those finished, enjoy the rest of your day. If you have questions, please come see me, and we will continue on. And we'll start naming bones of the lower body next. So thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your time. I'll see you next time.